Home repairs can be expensive, but there are a lot of things you can do around the house yourself to save money. In this bedroom, I've already repainted the walls, and next I'm going to install sheet vinyl on the floor. But first, I'll have to tear out the old wall-to-wall carpeting, and to do that, all I need is a pair of pliers, a knife, and a roll of tape. Let's get started. Before I tear out the carpet, I'm going to need to remove the doors. But that's pretty easy. All you really need to do is take a small screwdriver and a hammer and knock out the pins. Just like this. Simple. It's best to wear gloves when you do this because the pins have a lot of grease on them. And when you take off the door, you don't want to put grease all over your door. So it's best to wear gloves. And let's see. The door pops right off. And once you get the door off, it's best to put the pins back in so you can find them later. Now we can tear out the carpet. Okay, I've taken off the doors and anything else in the room that might get in the way, and now I'm going to start cutting up the carpet. Now on this stage of the process, I would recommend you use some safety glasses and some gloves. Now you take your pliers and go to any convenient spot and start pulling the carpet. I like to start at the corners near the threshold. And you just take your pliers and pull it back. Once you've got your corner up, all you need to do is take your gloved hands and pull the carpet back. It should come right up. Now if you notice, underneath the carpet, there's a pad and there's some strips along the side of the wall to hold the carpet down. And these are both going to have to come up later. But first we'll get up the carpet. Now you'll notice that there's stains on the bottom of the carpet. You can see the stain on top of the carpet over here. So over the years, the dirt goes straight through the carpet, comes out the bottom and onto your floor. So it's really impossible to get all the dirt out. So there is a lot of dirt below the carpet and in the carpet. That's one of the reasons you have to wear safety glasses to protect your eyes from the dust. One of the reasons you're wearing gloves is, if you notice on the bottom of the carpet here, this wetting down here is very abrasive. It's one of the ways they hold the carpet down, but it can be very sharp and it can damage your hands. That's one of the reasons you have to wear gloves. So like I say, I really recommend you wear safety glasses and gloves on this part of the process. Now you can start cutting up your carpet. I like to cut it into like 2 or 2.5 foot widths. Makes it a lot easier if you want to throw it away in the garbage can, or if you want to reuse it for other purposes. It's a good size to use for that. So you just take your knife and just make a cut with your gloved hands. And it cuts very easily. Just cut. And once it's cut, just roll it up. And then use your tape, which you have, and just wrap it around there, like so. And there you have it. That's your first roll. And what you do is you just repeat for the rest of the carpet. Now I'm going to take out the pad. Taking out the pad is a lot like taking out the carpet. To do that, I'm going to need a putty knife or a scraper because the pad is held down to the floor by adhesive. I'm also going to need a roll of tape to tie it all up at the end. I also recommend you use a pair of safety glasses and a dust mask to protect you from the dust from the pad. Pads are pretty thin, so you don't have to worry about cutting them up. When the installers put these in, they use two different strips here, so all I have to do is scrape them back and tie them up. I'm going to start in this corner here. Just lift up a piece of the pad with your hand and start scraping with the putty knife underneath to loosen up the adhesive. It should come up pretty easily. As you can see, the concrete underneath is in pretty good shape, so I won't have to do much before I put in the vinyl. Okay, I've started on the pad, and I'm going to continue until I finish the entire room, and I'll get back to you later. Okay, I've taken off the pad, and I'm down to bare concrete. You can see how dirty the floor was. This room has not been used so much, so it's not really all that dirty compared to some of the other rooms, which were high traffic. But next I'm going to need to sweep off all the dirt here and take off the tack strips around the edges of the wall. I finished cleaning the dirt off the floor, and now I'm going to start taking off the tack strips around the walls. To do that, I'm going to need a pry bar, sometimes called a flat bar, and a hammer. The tack strips are held down by short nails which are sunk into the concrete. So what you need to do is take your pry bar and put it centered over the nail, and then just hit it with a hammer until it comes out. Be sure to wear your safety glasses because when the nail pops out you never know where it's going to go. As you can see, this tack strip came off pretty easily. The nails are about a ½ an inch long, and on the top of the tack strip there are lots of little tacks, which are very sharp, so you have to be really careful with them when you dispose of this. When I took it out, it only left a few small holes in the concrete. Sometimes it leaves a rather large crater, which you'll have to fill in later. Once you get the first tack strip up, just follow the same procedure for the rest of the tack strips around the room. I've taken out the tack strips, but there are still a few nails left in the concrete. I'm going to take these out with my pry bar. Just put a piece of wood down on the floor and put your pry bar on top of it and pop it. And the nail comes right out. Sometimes the nail that's stuck in the concrete has no head left, so there's a couple ways you can deal with this one. First is you can take yourself a pair of vice grips and put it on the nail and try to pull it out manually. In this case it worked. Another way is just to take yourself a hammer and just pound it into the concrete. The tack strip over the threshold is made of metal. It's nailed down over the existing vinyl in the hallway, and this is also going to have to come up. As you can see, the tack strip is a little bit harder to get up on the threshold, but it will come up. I finished taking out the tack strips, and now I'm going to start filling in the holes and the cracks in the concrete slab. There are a lot of little craters around the edges of the room from the nails of the tack strips that I'm going to have to fill in. I've also got some small cracks in the concrete slab caused by settling. To fill in the cracks in the floor, I've used a caulk gun and some concrete repair in the past, which works pretty well, but it is kind of messy. So lately I've been using a water-based powder, a patching compound, which seems to work really well, and it doesn't leave so much of a mess. To use the patching compound powder, just mix it with water and trowel it into the cracks in the floor. I've made a thick paste out of the patching compound, and now I'm going to put it into the different cracks around the room. I finished patching the floor, and now I'm going to start scraping it. This can be a little bit tedious and time consuming, but it's necessary because once I start laying the vinyl, any little bump underneath is going to show through. So I have to make sure the floor is as flat as possible. To do that, I'm going to use this hand scraper. I'm going to start in this corner and work back. This is all there is to it. Scrape the floor as flat as possible so there are no bumps or dips in the floor. Before I put down the vinyl, I'm going to scrub the floor with a disinfectant. This will help eliminate odors in the concrete and will also raise any dirt or adhesive that's still stuck to the top of the concrete. Then I'll let it sit for a couple of days to dry before I put down the vinyl.